Hey there, fellow YouTubers. Today, we're diving into the never-ending Groundhog Day of the Iran-US conflict, where bluster and back down have become the norm for President Trump. It's like he's stuck in a time loop, repeating the same threats and ultimatums, only to back down at the last minute. But what makes this situation even more fascinating is the underlying psychology and the complex dynamics at play. So, let's break it down and explore why this war of choice has become a never-ending cycle of frustration for Trump and a source of confusion for the world. First things first, let's talk about Trump's aversion to being the subject of mockery. It's no secret that he's sensitive to criticism and ridicule. But what's interesting here is how this aversion has influenced his approach to the Iran war. By repeatedly threatening devastating attacks and then backing down, Trump risks attracting ridicule and undermining his credibility. It's like he's playing a dangerous game of chicken, hoping to scare Iran into submission, but ending up looking like a fool. Now, let's talk about the Groundhog Day quality of this conflict. Since launching the war in February, Trump has adopted the same tactic 7 times, threatening to launch devastating strikes and then backing down at the last minute. It's like he's stuck in a time loop, repeating the same mistakes over and over again. But what makes this situation even more fascinating is the underlying psychology at play. Trump's threats are not just empty words, they're a reflection of his frustration and a desperate attempt to assert dominance over Iran. But what's really interesting is the role of Iran's leaders in all of this. As Mirzad Boroujerdi, a political scientist, points out, regimes that come into being through mass revolutions, like the one in 1979 that swept Iranian revolutionaries to power, are much harder to topple than other governments. By invoking this type of language, Trump has inadvertently played into the hands of Iran's leaders, who are now more determined than ever to resist US aggression. It's like he's given them a free pass to continue defying him. Now, let's talk about the psychology of Iran's leaders. Boroujerdi, who has dedicated his life to understanding the motivations of the men inside the Islamic regime, argues that their attachment to the system makes absolute sense. These are folks who came from very modest backgrounds and enjoyed social mobility thanks to the revolution. They owe everything they have to the revolution, and therefore, they're willing to defend it to the death. It's like they're trapped in a cycle of loyalty and obligation, unable to break free from the system that has given them power. But what's really fascinating is how this conflict has played out in the real world. Despite Trump's threats and ultimatums, Iran has continued to inflict damage on US and allied targets in the Middle East. It's like they're playing a game of cat and mouse, with Iran always staying one step ahead. And what's even more interesting is how this conflict has affected the US midterm elections. Trump's zigzagging messaging on the war has betrayed an absence of strategy and a profound ignorance of his enemy, threatening to deliver an electoral disaster for his party. In conclusion, the Iran-US conflict is a never-ending cycle of bluster and backdown, where Trump's aversion to mockery has played a significant role. By repeatedly threatening devastating attacks and then backing down, he risked attracting ridicule and undermining his credibility. But what's really fascinating is the underlying psychology and the complex dynamics at play. It's like we're watching a never-ending Groundhog Day, where the same mistakes are repeated over and over again. So, what do you think? What makes this situation so fascinating, and what can we learn from it? Let me know in the comments below.